Hey, everybody. This is the AARP volunteer What's in It for Me video. This is a tutorial or a walkthrough on how to tabs within the volunteer portal. Today, we're going to talk about managing reimbursements and walking you through that tab. As you can see on this slide, at the top left-hand ribbon where it says Home, when you log into the volunteer portal, you will be looking at the Home tab. What you want to do to submit a reimbursement is to go over to the Manage Reimbursements title where the blue is pointing to on the screen. When you go to a reimbursement, you can use this for items such as mileage, tolls, parking, public transportation, meals, and hotels for when you do activities for AARP. What I do want to call out here is resources. So there's a resources is located in the library section /AARP Massachusetts /volunteer. Here is where you're going to see or locate and be able to download a Massachusetts tip sheet that can help you submit your reimbursement. What I do want to note, which is very important, is that most of your AARP reimbursements will be using program code 7432, which is indicated on the slide. We now will take you through a walkthrough of the volunteer portal. Now we've logged in AARP volunteer portal. And as you can see, our mouse pointer is on the home button, which is where we're going to begin. We're going to scroll over to the right and we're going to select Manage Reimbursements. Here to the right, we're going to hit the New Reimbursement for the event that we have expenses. We would recommend that you the wizard. So we're going to click on the wizard and follow the following steps. Here, we're going to use an expenses for an event that we went to, which is going to be Fraud Fighter Volunteer. So we're going to select the first option for our example. Next, we're going to hit No, and then we're going to hit Next, but to the right. Those two buttons will bring us to the next section where we're going to start adding the details of the expense. And this is indicated by going over to where it says Add New Line Item. By clicking that button, it's going to open up a number of drop boxes. And here we're going to enter two line items. The first one is going to be for mileage. So we're going to fill in the date, and dates need to be either the date you're putting in the expense or prior. Nothing future can be put into this field. So here we're going to select the date. Under the program drop down, this is where you're going to put in the code 7. You're going to have to select and find it, but it's code 7432, which was indicated on the PowerPoint slide. The next field is the expense type. And here, we're going to select mileage. And as I mentioned, we're going to be putting in two line items, which will be meals and mileage. Those are the two most important fields that you'll be selecting when you're doing reimbursement. So when you're going through the fields, you'll skip the funding code. And in this example, we're going to skip the amount field and we're going to go right to description. And this is where you're going to put in as much detail as you possibly can about the expense. Now, when we're doing a mileage, you want to indicate that it is a round trip total that you're going to be putting in the field, and it's for whatever date the event was, and driving round trip from wherever you were to the event. The name of the event and those details. Then we'll scroll over to mileage, and that rate is populate automatically, and AARP the highest amount. And in this case, it's 70 cents this year per standards. Don't worry, that'll automatically be put in. Let's scroll over to miles, and this is where you're going to put in the total number of miles that it was for you to go to your event. It will automatically populate, so don't worry about putting in the amount number. And then if you're comfortable and happy with what you, let's look at that. And what does that say? Let's click on the button. What does it give us? Save. Well, we always want to save, so I would recommend saving. And then go back all the way over to the left and let's another line item. So our next line item is going to be for food because while we were at the event, we ate. So let's put in the date. And also, I want to remind you that before you actually start doing a reimbursement, if you do have receipts for your meals, please upload and make copies of them because you are going to need to attach them to the report. That will help you and save you time. So here we put in we indicate program as noted before, 7432. Here we're going to indicate for volunteer meals. We are going to skip funding code. We're going to enter the amount of the expense for the meal. And then we're going to put in the description of what that was. Where you ate it, the event you were at, lunch, whether it was lunch, dinner, breakfast. Some people even indicate what they had. But once you're done with that, you're going to skip mileage, you're going to skip miles, and you're going to skip the mileage section. We do need to make sure you have an amount in the amount section, and then you're going to go to options, drop down, and save. It does give you a moment for you to actually take a look at it. And if you are, we'll save it. We'll, in theory, upload your reimbursement receipt. And now we're going to do next. Yep. Here is where you're going to upload your receipts. To click upload file or drag in and bring the file in that way off of your computer.
I don't have a receipt right here, but if you do, it would be.
Yep.
Uploading.
Can we get past it?
We can.
Let's go to next.
If you don't have a receipt, then you just press next.
If you don't have a receipt, you will just press next. And if you're happy, we now need to certify that what we have indicated here is accurate. And you would do that by checking the box and clicking the certify button. And you will need to do that for all your expenses. And then it's being submitted for, go to next. Here's an overview summary of what you put in, overview summary of the expense reimbursement that you have submitted or are about to submit, because now you're going to hit save and submit, and it will go to your manager or team for approval.
Because we aren't really submitting this, we are not going to do that.
Yep. And that will be the completion of the 7 steps to submit a reimbursement for your attend.